It's Kurt. It's Sunday, so I'm going to talk about God. Hello. Um, my God is not a personal God. It is similar to what Einstein's God is that the universe bound by the laws of physics in its entirety, the energy that can be neither created nor destroyed, a formless being of everything and nothing all at once. Um, that's my God. Then there's this personal God that exists, which is um it creates us in in our in its form, like similarly. I would say that's a much more primitive God. It's kind of existed since the beginning of humanity, but in my God definition, God is everything in the universe. So yes, that includes humans created in their own image. uh But I'm not going to tell you what to believe. My religion is pantheism. If you're looking for a religion, I don't think you should be an atheist. That's all. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you not to be. Don't be an atheist. It's wrong. Einstein said it was wrong. Kurt, am saying it's wrong. I'm not important, but Einstein's pretty important. You probably shouldn't be an atheist. Look for something to believe in, because non-belief is not belief. If you want an organized religion, I'd say organized religions are fine. They're quite good. Make sure that they aren't just passing around the collections basket, and make sure that it's the one that you join is led by a benevolent soul. I think that religion as a framework is neutral always, and they all kind of point to the same things, a la Alan Watts. Um, but, god damn it. Also, just like a societal thing, taboo, which I'm going to talk about later, I chew Nicorette. I haven't smoked cigs in a long time, but nicotine, and this is a total, like, way off, but I need Nicorette. Um, way off the path that I was going on. Uh, Nicotine and caffeine are very similar. We're addicted to caffeine as a society. I switch. I kind of use both actually, but so I don't build off my tolerance too much. Because then I would just need tons and tons of both. I just kind of wave in between the two. But anyway, um, fun facts about Kurt there. Let's get back to God. I kind of forgot where I was, but I really needed the nicotine in my mouth. Now you kind of get to hear me chew. It's fine. We're gonna go with it. I'm just gonna tuck it in my tongue. Kind of like chewing tobacco, and we're gonna go with that. Um, don't. Also, like, I need to go over this. Use me as a source of inspiration and not as a role model. I'm a Hunter S. Thompson. I'm not. But nicotine is. This sort of nicotine is much better than Juuls. Anyway, uh, and it's like, you don't have that. I just hate jewelers. It's kind of like absurd to me. But, I mean, I don't hate you if you jewel. I just hate the jewel. Like, do what you will. Always do what you will. I can't stop you from doing it. One, a man can do as he wills, but not will what he wills. I totally agree with that. Thank you, Einstein. Um, and Schopenhauer. But I didn't say his name right. It's called. I think I combined it two names. I might be right. We'll go with it. Uh, but yeah, all organized religions are fine as long as they don't want to steal your money and they teach okay ideology. Religions are neutral. They're frameworks of knowledge in order to understand reality. You can use them for evil means, or you can use them for good means. It depends on who's using them and what they're trying to use them for and what reality they're creating with it. Religion that's used for supremacist means is not religion. It's a bastardization of religion. Religion is meant to show It's radical love. Radical love is what your religion should point you to. If it's not pointing you towards radical love, I think you're stuck in something that's not good. That's my personal opinion. Um, did I couldn't have. The whole purpose of this video, though, I've done this a couple times because I always do stream of consciousness, so sometimes it's hard for me to realize what I've talked about in prior videos versus, like, prior takes versus this take, but I don't think I've talked about this. The purpose of me creating this video is to suggest that we stop giving God, personal or universal, the pronoun he, him, his. It's wrong. Don't give God the pronoun he, him, his anymore, because it limits the realities that we can embody, and it's very patriarchal, and it needs to stop. And that's all I'm gonna say. Like, just think about it, ruminate over it. You can use it or they, them, theirs, or she, her. I don't care. Just stop he, him, his, because it needs to shift. It's wrong. It's wrong. Get out of here. Like, I would say she, her, hers is wrong too, because the personal God is supposed to be like used to create humans in that image, and if the only image that's correct is a cishet white male because that's what God looks like, that's not helpful in the creation of reality. It's going to get us in a bad spot. I think that if you make the personal God something that's formless but formful, it kind of looks like my universal God, because it's just the energy of the universe and it takes different forms depending on what it is embodying. Um, for example, God in me is a trans man that looks like a dork. Um, and God in someone else is whatever they look like. And God in my cat is the Buddha in my cat is my cat. Uh, but I don't really like, I just think we need to eliminate it because it's wrong. Um, so stop giving God he, him, his pronouns. Now I'm going to talk about societal taboo. Societal taboo is very interesting. Um, and how it occurs is it's things that we cannot talk about. And when you have things that you cannot talk about, you can't conceptualize it as a human species. Like, you can have the experience of it, and that's how my cat has concepts from the experience of it and like the memory of it, but he has no words to put to it, so he can't speak of it. I mean, I don't know cat language that well, so maybe he does speak of it. Um, but with humanity, if you don't have words, like, words are ancillary to concepts. You need the words, and I stole that book from the beginning of the Matrix by N.H. Pritchard, which is a wonderful poetry book. And if you ever find it, you should get it. The Matrix by Norman Pritchard. Um, it's a collection of poetry. But in order to have concepts in humanity that you can reference, you need words, and that's why words are very important. Um, because, for example, like, the one I always go to is there's a caste system in India. I don't know why I put it under quotation marks. There's a caste system in India. There is a caste system in the United States. It is unspoken of, and because of that, we cannot poke at it and try to end it. Where in India, they're trying to end the caste system actively. Um, in the United States, we have a caste system, and it might operate a little bit differently than the caste system in India, but it is of the same nature. The untouchables are homeless people. We have generational wealth, which creates our hierarchy of who's on top and who's on the bottom. And that who is the Brahmins, the 1%, and stuff like that, and their kids. Uh, so, because we can't talk about it because it's taboo in the United States to talk about, like, differences in wealth and wealth disparity and stuff like that, especially when you're talking to someone else that like you're friends with, uh, but you're really only friends with the people of your caste. Um, so very similar to India's caste system, because we can't talk about it, we can't abolish it. You have to talk about it before you can change it. And then on the other hand, so that's taboo, and what comes with taboo and creation of reality. Um, there are some words which can completely eliminate other realities because of how they're used. Um, because they can't coincide with the words that are used create concepts that directly contradict different concepts. For example, this one I'm going to use, and it's my go-to, is all trans babies are labeled cis. So the concept of trans people being born as the gender that they are in this body, the XX body being a male body, for me, Kurt, not that it's an not that all XX bodies are male, um, is kind of contradictory to the culture and the language that we hold to be true. So Sapir Whorf, to add it again, um, we can't have those concepts because they contradict each other. So language is very powerful. Um, Another thing is like professional language is the white male language. Um, and it's very true. Like sociolinguistically, women speak a certain way, and it doesn't do well in professionalism. They kind of have to adapt once they get into industry in order to fit traditional male ways of speaking in order to fit in. Code switching. Another thing is black people have to code switch in order to fit into the professional world. They don't speak African American vernacular English in professionalism, even though people that speak African American vernacular English have to understand the professional language in order to survive. It's a very back-assward system where one is considered right and one is considered wrong. Also, people that are not native English speakers, have English as a second language, etc., are seen as unprofessional or unintelligent, and it's harder for people to say that because they were born like outright. It's more of like a racist thing to say, but to me, not supporting African American vernacular English speakers is the same thing as not supporting people that speak a different language entirely from English that shares no commonality um, in their differences. And it's very interesting how we treat those dialects differently from um, major language differences. But I still think it's true, like, if there's a language gap, it's often not on the white person to, particularly the white male, to figure it out. It's on the minority, the marginalized person, to figure out how to communicate like the white male, which I don't think necessarily is right, but it's what we've taken in order to create a professional environment that is a certain way. Um, but language is very, very powerful. I think that linguistics should be taught in schools, like to kids at a young age, because of this. Um, Stop pronouning God, he, him, his. Uh, think about using your own language. It's hard to be mutually intelligible sometimes, but it's probably for the best. I'm trying to get my language as mutually intelligible as possible. My language is Kurdish. As mutually intelligible as possible and as close to bare reality as possible. It's very hard to do, but I'm trying. I'm trying every day to get it there. So, um, anyway, just like don't let your language limit you. If you need a concept that's not available for you, to you, create a word for it and define it. You are Merriam-Webster. Congratulations. Go for it.